Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my video on Gemstone dragons. This strategy is resetting ED2 to kill some hydrix dragons for up to 2.5 million experience an hour, which is absolutely absurd. It's so overpowered and so much experience. It's definitely super balanced.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
When it comes to the setup, you want to take your best range gear plus chins to AoE down the two dragons. As you can see, obviously the gear that I have is very, very expensive, and I don't expect people to take Elite Serenic, but there is only a couple of things that you need to make sure that you take. The rest, just take the best that you have. First of all, you want the Scrimshaw of Sacrifice. This Scrimshaw of Sacrifice consumes the drops and gives you 50% more XP. Hydrix dragons don't really give that great loot, but the XP they give is huge. So getting that 50% extra is how you get that 2.5 mil an hour. Secondly, you want chins. Chins are so important here, so definitely bring mechanical chins. Then just take your best offhand to go alongside them. You want something that's going to give you super anti-fire, so you can take a super anti-fire on its own. A Searing Overload, a Overload Salve, whatever can give you that resistance to Dragon Breath. You're going to want to have a Bladed Dive swap with Mobile. I have Mobile on my Enhanced Excalibur, so I take that, and I also take a Power Burst of Acceleration, so you can get back to the place very, very quickly. You can use the Power Burst of Acceleration every 2 runs, and it definitely saves a ton of time. And lastly, you want a way to get back to ED2. I personally use the Dragonkin teleport tablets, but you can just teleport from War's Retreat or whatever if you would rather do that. But these are only 1k Dungeoneering tokens each, so they're definitely worth it, and they're the best thing to use. And like I said, the rest of the setup, just take the best that you have. So with the setup covered, let's get into the method. To be able to do this method, you do need to clear your way through Elite Dungeon 2. This means you'll have to be able to kill Astalon and Verak Glyph. After you've killed Verak Glyph, which is the second boss of ED2, you'll then be ready to set up this method. So once Verak Glyph was dead, I went to the chest and teleported to number 4 on the chest. What you want to do is you want to clear certain dragons. You want to clear the 2 Onyx dragons at the front and the 4 dragons behind them. Once these 4 dragons are dead, it will open up the first barrier. In front of the second barrier, there is 2 Dragonstone dragons. You want to kill these as well to open up the second barrier. This will then give you access to the 2 Hydrix dragons that continuously respawn. When you kill these 2 Hydrix dragons, it doesn't actually open the next barrier because there is 2 Dragonstone dragons down that area. So if you don't kill the other dragons and only kill these Hydrix ones, it never opens up that barrier, which means if you leave and rejoin, these Hydrix dragons then continuously respawn. So like I said before, I would trade the reward woman just outside of ED2 and buy some of the Dragonkin teleport tablets for 1k tokens each. This will be the easiest way to teleport back out to get back in nice and quickly. Then the method is very, very simple. All you do is enter, continue where you left off, go to the first chest at the entrance, teleport to number 4, then use your Power Burst of Acceleration and use your Bladed Dive swap so you can continuously surge and Bladed Dive over to the dragons. When you get to the dragons, you want to AoE them down with chins. You want them so they're standing directly next to each other, otherwise chins will not work. If they are not standing directly next to each other, you want to make it so you can lure them closer. Typically, what I've found the best way to be to lure these is if you surge to the northeast corner, it normally has them standing next to each other. But if they're not next to each other by that time, just surge south and they'll definitely be next to each other. Takes a little tiny bit of practice to line them up, but half the time they'll be instantly lined up anyway, and you won't even have to go to the southeast side. When you go back in the second time, sadly you will not have a Power Burst of Acceleration potion, so it will take you a little while to get there, but if you do have Mobile and Bladed Dive, you'll get there pretty quickly, as your Surges and your Bladed Dive only have a 10-second cooldown. Double Surge is really good here as well. Then once you get back, it's just AoEing them down once again. You just want to DPS them as hard as you can with a Scrimshaw of Sacrifice active. I don't actually have a Scrimshaw of Sacrifice active right now because it's the 50% weak, so I'm already getting the extra 50% Slayer experience. And as you can see by my experience an hour, I'm getting 2.5 million experience an hour, which is just absolutely absurd. And what makes this even more bonkers is during this Slayer week where you get 50% more XP, Scrimshaw of Sacrifice stacks. So I was actually getting nearly 3.5 million experience an hour with the Scrimshaw of Sacrifice stacking. So if you wanted to take advantage of Gemstone Dragons this weekend, you have 2 more days of the Slayer week and you'll be able to get 3.5 million experience an hour with a Scrimshaw of Sacrifice. When it's not the Slayer week, these are 2.5 million experience an hour, as I showcased before. But yeah, just an absolutely nutty method. Very, very simple, very, very easy. It does involve a lot of running, of course, but it's 100% worth it. Hopefully this video was useful to you. If you want to get the most experience out of your Gemstone Dragon or Dragon Cluster tasks, I would definitely recommend these 2 hydrix dragons and resetting them. The fact that they push 2.5 million experience an hour in Slayer is just absolutely absurd. Doing these on your road to 120 or 200 mil Slayer will speed it up so much. For some reason, these dragons give 17,000 Slayer experience per inside Elite Dungeons. Outside, they're only 5k, so it's a huge extra amount of XP from the ones inside ED. This also makes your Gemstone Dragon and Dragon Cluster tasks last longer, as obviously you're killing less per hour, which makes that 100 dragons that you get as a task take a much longer period. Getting the most XP out of your tasks is always nice as well. That'll be it for this video. Do give it a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're new for loads of future content all related to RuneScape 3, and as always, until next time, see ya.